Hello. For those of you that started any Oakland Raiders players, I feel sorry for you. We're probably going to have to just tune into my draft videos next year because if you're starting a bunch of Raider players, then it's probably the whole season's probably not looking good for you. I started Doug Martin in 3 out of 4 leagues that I have him in, and I'm in 7 leagues. And it wasn't well. It wasn't well for any Raiders players. And this kid, Nick Mullen, was absolutely beasted. One person in the Facebook group started him. But by the way, my name's Hussein the Brain, and you're tuned into the Fantasy Couch podcast. We are live right now on our second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. And we have a special guest. Nagshin, what's up? Tell the people what's going on.
What is up, guys? I'm Nagshin. I do minute videos for Daily FanDuel. We talk about who to start, who to sit, games, Thursday night games. As you saw, this one wasn't that great this week. So yeah, that's me. Check out my Instagram. I also have a Facebook. It's fairly fresh, but you know, I've connected with Fantasy Couch for a couple. What has it been, like a year now?
We've just
2
been like
years,
messaging
maybe?
on Twitter for a year. We haven't did
Yeah,
anything.
back and forth. And we finally
Yeah,
collabed.
and she's already plugging herself. That was supposed to be late. You're supposed to
Yeah.
gain the people's trust and then plug yourself. You
That's
started
right. I
plugging
wanna do it
yourself
right
right.
now.
You're supposed to, like a hello, how are you? And then I'll be like, oh, so where can we find
Hello,
you?
how are you? You can find me everywhere, all
So
over the
she
world.
just joined the Fantasy Couch fan Facebook. I know a lot of you are tuned in right now. So she's going to be on the Facebook group. She said she's going to be active on there. We'll see if she's active. But like I told you, if you participate, if you answer questions, just chime into the conversation. They will show the most love. Did you see the jack-o'-lantern they made of me? Oh, you saw
Yeah,
that? It's crazy. I'm telling you, they show so much love. I've never seen that type. I mean, for someone that has, I got a decent following, but not like a million.
You're not
Not
a
like a
good
million.
following.
I'm like a D plus celebrity. I used
But
to be
listen,
D
if you got
minus.
real ones, they're gonna stick with you forever, and they're gonna just do whatever
Like
it
in
takes
in
to.
fantasy, what I always tell people, what you want to try to do ideally, quality over quantity, and that's what the Couch
Exactly.
Fam is. It's all love. It's loyal fans, dedicated fans. I want to say what's up to everybody in here. Non-hype beast, you always first comment. And congratulations to Non-Hype Beast. He says he did not start any Raiders players, not even the defense.
Good for
Fresh
you.
ballers in the building. Alberto says RIP to those who started Raiders defense. Yeah, so I was like, I had the Dolphins D. I think this was the scenario, and I was like, look, if CJ Beathard's out, I'm gonna go with the Raiders D. And then I was like, you know what? Why not? So I just left the Dolphins D in, and I'm so thankful for that.
I mean, I feel like the Raiders just need to just fire everyone, get their lives together, and just restart from scratch. Because right now, with their trade, everything's downhill right now for me.
That team
with them.
looks so awful.
They're all over the place. No one knows what they're doing. They're sloppy.
Fresh baller. Nick Mullins is the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, I think it's Joe Montana, Steve Young, then Nick Mullins, but Nick Mullins definitely ahead of Jeff Garcia.
Nick Mullins, I give him a couple weeks to actually see if he is the real deal. He just played the Raiders, so let's give it a minute.
We're just joking. There's not really any. Yeah, there's no need for any analysis. But I don't know. We'll get to the Mullins. We'll get a Mullins segment here. We got a bunch of graphics, 3D graphics and stuff on the way. So Jason, you say Brain, your team was on fire. Which one? I don't know. I don't remember any of my teams on fire. I don't know which. I got Kittle in the Dynasty League. If you're with me in the Dynasty League, and it's weird. Like I didn't really like. I thought Kittle was okay going into this season, but it just slipped so much in the draft, and he's young, so I drafted. I mean, it's great value. I drafted him, and thankfully, it worked out. You think Kittle's a beast, right?
He's good. I like Kittles.
He's a beast. There's
good.
no more tight ends in this league. Gronk's gone, basically, as far as being elite.
Gronk is. I don't know what happened, everyone. This season is just so different, and I try to have faith in a player, and I'm like, wait, what just happened? It's really hard. Kittles is great though. He is good. So good job on that pickup.
Oh, Jason's talking about my NFL team. Yeah, the 49ers. Okay.
How many leagues do you have right now? Like
I'm in
7?
7 leagues and 2 best ball leagues, but it's I'm like getting paid to play basically. Like I have to play. They like make the and then this one is like, hey, it's a what's this? It's a charity league. So it's like, what am I gonna do?
Nice.
Like, I feel like I'm gonna kill the charity if I say no. Like a little kid.
Yeah, you gotta support a charity. You can't. That's
Like, it's like a little
background.
kid like in front of me, and then I'm like, nah, you know what? Like, no, I have other stuff to do. You're not important. So it's like, it's charity. It's good. It'll be. I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm like, what did I just do? My rule is 4 leagues max, and I'm not supposed to go past
7.
4 leagues, and that's way more than 4. I'm still managing okay though.
So how crazy is it on a Sunday for you with all those leagues dropping, picking up, injuries?
I mean, it's crazy. The craziest thing is doing YouTube. But on top of that, takes up a lot of time. Yeah, it's crazy. I worked out a really psychotic, crazy system that gets all this done, and somehow doing 7 leagues isn't the hell I thought it would be. It's bad. Like, don't get me wrong.
I'm like, wait.
But and what the charity ones on MFL, my fantasy league, bit outdated, little bit like texty. It's not the best UI, doesn't have the best app, so it's a little tougher. If they're all on ESPN or something, it's easier. But it's all good. I'm gonna tell the charity one. It's called Fantasy Cares is the name of the charity, and it's the same exact thing as Toys for Tots. So I'm gonna tell them next year, look, I can't do it unless it's best ball.
Yeah.
It's best ball, you draft and then you never touch it. So
that's why I stick with daily fantasy. You gotta do FanDuel. So for everyone that's watching, I do more of FanDuel. I don't do season long. So that's my little forte. And Hussein was like, why don't you do DraftKings? Because I don't do DraftKings, I just do FanDuel. But for those of you that are watching, how many of you do both?
I was going to tell them that. So vote. I was honestly about to tell them that. But I gotta get on with the show. But while I'm introducing some topics and whatnot, guys, in the live chat right now, vote. For those of you that do play DFS, do you prefer FanDuel or DraftKings? I just want to take a quick poll. So go ahead and type FanDuel, go ahead and type DraftKings, or go ahead and type both. Or you don't play DFS. Let me know. So one of those 4 options: FanDuel, DraftKings, both, or none. Let me know in the live chat. We have a great show, of course. Nakshim is awesome. Well, I mean, this is the first time we're collabing. So far, she's doing great. We're going to talk a little bit about Thursday Night Football, trade deadline recap, and fantasy impact for sure. We're going to be talking about that. Golden Tate, Amari Cooper, Demaryius Thomas. Before we get into it, I just want to thank our sponsors, PFF, Pro Football Focus. Thank you so much for sponsoring the YouTubes, the podcast. I absolutely love PFF. You guys go check it out. It's profootballfocus.com. It's very reputable. I use it every week. You get to know the players' grades. They watch every play of every player. You can go get Edge subscription for fantasy. If you want to take it a step further, go get that Elite if you like high stakes and more stats. Me personally, I love the wide receiver cornerback matchups. You get to know which cornerback is defending which wide receiver. Are they going to shadow him? Even tight ends, who's covering the tight ends? How good is it? Are they playing from the slot? And that question comes up every week, and it gives me that little edge. I love using the matchup chart. Also, guys, PFF is just straight up awesome, and it really helps support this channel. So make sure you guys go to profootballfocus.com today and prepare to win. And we're also going to be talking about FanDuel strategy, because that's what you like to do. So last week we did the locks of the week, and oh my god, what happened? I actually don't have it written down. I remember it off the top of my head. Who was here last week and we did the 5-team teaser, and they all hit. And it was the Vikings over, it was the Patriots -7 they covered, the Browns Steelers game over, and we had 2 more legs, actually, I forgot, but they all hit, guys. So Mike, he'll be back next week to gloat and talk about how that 5-team teaser hit. It was absolutely amazing. So the live chat right now, it says DraftKings, Yahoo. Ew, that's gross.
DraftKings? What? Okay.
And
What's
that's it. We
the
only have about, and then
no FanDuel?
no. So
Come on,
like I
guys.
said, it's about 1 out of 3 people prefer FanDuel and 2 out of 3 prefer DraftKings. So it's just the way it is. Like I mean, they're pretty close. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about trades. So you want to start off with Golden Tate going to the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, Golden Tate going to the Eagles. The Lions do need a third round overall pick because, I mean, listen, I'm from Detroit, but I'm a Packers fan, so it's really hard for me to support the Lions. But third round overall pick, the Eagles are already great, so just adding Golden Tate to that is, to me, going to help out the Eagles maybe more than the Lions. I don't know. What do you think? Because I
The
feel
Eagles
like,
needed this. It's a
yeah,
great
like
move for the Eagles. Let's stick to fantasy impact. So the big one, obviously, Galladay and Marvin Jones both get huge boosts. Like that's
big
the
numbers.
obvious one. Okay, so what about now? I'm a Zach Ertz owner. I think it hurts Zach Ertz just a tad. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Zach Ertz, he gets play, obviously, but in the tight end position, a lot of these guys are lacking this season, even Zach Ertz. But Golden Tate is one of the top wide receivers right now. So I think it is going to hurt him a little bit. But either way, it's going to make the Eagles even better than they already
Yeah,
are.
definitely. I just
So,
tried to trade in the Couch League. I tried to trade Ertz for Kelsey, straight up. What do you think
uh-huh.
of that?
I like it. Kelsey always gets, I mean, not as much this season
He's
as
gonna be better
before
though.
because,
Remainder of the
yeah, he is
year.
going to be better. He is. So, I mean, I'm always a Travis Kelsey fan, so I like that trade.
We have our question. Let's see what you think. So, I'll just take this as for the rest of the season. Do you like Marvin Jones more or Galladay?
So, it's a tough question. Um, I do have a lot of faith in Marvin Jones because I've seen what he can do against great teams. Galladay is good too, but with the experience, I feel like Jones is going to get a lot more play since Tate is gone. So, I'm going to lean towards
I'm
Jones.
gonna go Galladay, but it's almost tied here, and this is what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Like I mean, you can be wrong every week. You know, it's like over the
Right.
course of time, maybe yeah, Galladay does a little bit better, but it's like game to game,
It always de- it always depends on who's playing them, who's guarding them, who they're up against,
and usually you'll be wrong too, looking at it too, because it's you know
Yeah.
it's Stafford and he likes both of them, so it's
Yeah.
not like one like. Because I remember Marvin Jones, I think it was defended against Xavier Rhodes on Thanksgiving, and he beat. I was like, oh, go get the slot receiver Tate, because
Yeah.
Rhodes is good. No, Marvin Jones did
Right.
it. So it's like it's so hard to predict
Yeah.
on a team like the
It's always
Lions.
hit or miss. Always hit or miss. Like who would have ever expected Mason Crosby to miss 4 field goals on a game that we could like the Packers could have won if he made all those
Yeah,
field
yeah,
goals. He missed
and I think he missed an extra point on top of that, and but I
Yeah, and
went
I'm
back
like
to him the next week.
and then he killed
Don't
it
okay.
again.
Be
I
honest.
guess
Were you on the Crosby train, the Cosby train, the very next week?
I mean, you can't doubt Crosby. He's one of the best
Yeah.
kickers, and I know we don't want to talk about kickers, but I love
We always
kickers,
wind
and
up talking about kickers on the
I
couch.
know. I love kickers. I mean, kickers used to win me leagues, so I can't ever hate on kickers. But I mean, everyone's entitled to a bad day, and of course, it was a bad day that I didn't want to see because I was actually at that game, and my brother's a Lions fan, so I didn't hear the end of it. So, but I knew Crosby would bounce back. He was just having a bad day, and I was back on that Crosby bandwagon the next week.
Hey, now Ron says Galladay youth over experience. Sure, I also like the size of Galladay. I
Galladay.
mean, he's so tall and he's
The
very
guy.
talented this year. Last year we only seen very small sparks. This year he's
Yeah.
really going. They're talking about Raheem Mostert's injury. Yeah, it looked bad. I mean, that guy's like so talented, but can he stay healthy, man? On
But it's like, can you compare Galladay to, let's say, Calvin Johnson?
Yeah,
I don't
Gallatron. Yeah, it's
know.
Gallatron.
Yeah.
That's Kenny Gallatron. What are you talking about?
Gallatron, I've
Look,
never
there's
heard that one.
Legatron. That's Greg Zerline.
Uh,
He's the Megatron
yeah.
of kickers.
Oh, here we go.
And
Kickers
then,
again.
yeah, no, I told you like I don't necessarily want to do like a segment on kickers, but we love kickers. I always talk about kickers.
I
When
love
I got a
kickers.
partnership with Drafters, and then we do so. Drafters is I'm gonna get you on there. It's an awesome site. It's DFS, but it's a snake
Yeah.
draft. So it's like a fast
Yeah.
snake draft. You heard of the draft app? This is their
Yes.
competitor, so it's a new one.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah, there's always new apps coming out all the time. I'm
yeah.
like, I can't keep up. There's so many
But
of them.
but I mean, it's something like I think you'd be interested in. So anyway, when they make special contests for us, and it's called Couch Fam with Kickers. So it's like that's how much we love kickers that they add, they're not standard anymore. No one uses kickers anymore, but they add kickers in, and
Right.
we're always talking about kickers. So yeah, Kenny Galatron, yeah, he's like he's like that, and then Greg the Leg or Legatron, yeah,
The
something like that.
leg.
So Amari Cooper to the
Oh, God.
Cowboys. Your thoughts?
So Dallas needs the help, but I mean, I don't know. First round pick. I don't know. I mean, Raiders are just no comment. They're losing.
I watched a
everything.
video of Amari Cooper this morning, coincidentally, okay?
Yeah.
So he came in the league, 1,000 yards, amazing receiver out of college, speed, size, route running, which is like one of the, route running is one of the main things as a wide receiver. Came in, guys, I'm like 99% sure on the number. So he came in around 211 pounds or something, put on a few pounds after his second year, and then put on more weight. So now he's like 225. He's has bulky muscle, and I'm so against this move. Like, I feel like you don't need that muscle as a wide receiver. If you're like a wide receiver converting to a tight end, like on Hard Knocks, that guy Kajus, that's different. Like, okay, you need to block, so you need to bulk up. But
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, you're already basically elite. As far as a young player goes, you're pretty much elite. And I don't understand bulking up here, losing speed. I don't get it. What do you think? Is this more of a wild conspiracy, or you think this is real? Because the bulking came right after the 1,000 yard, and then he fell off as he gained weight on purpose.
I mean,
not like eating, like bulked up and he worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, how are you gonna bulk up and want to look that big and be that big? Because at the end of the day, it's gonna make you slower as a wide receiver. Like, you don't need all that. You just need speed as a wide receiver. You need not to be an animal. And with that, I'm totally against bulking as a wide receiver because I just don't think
It
that's
didn't make
fun.
any sense. Like, I'd get it if he was like, I don't watch basketball as much. Like a Brandon Ingram, Kevin Durant when they were coming out of, like if they were
I
like
mean, if you're a
they were
tight
like a
end,
daddy long legs type of, like a long skinny alien arms. Like, I get that, but Amari Cooper didn't need to do that. So that might be it. I like the change of scenery for Amari Cooper. It's a wait and see. Like, I'm not. Just because you had no comment doesn't mean like I'm doing that because you had no comment. It's like I just want to wait and see, okay? Because Dak's not the best passer. Now, what I do like,
and they don't have any good wide receivers. Like, the thing is Dallas is lacking in that position, but at the same time, is it the right move? Again, no comment, and I guess we're gonna have to wait and
this
see.
is what I do know. Zeke, he's not. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Zeke, but he's a very good runner. He's very durable. He's just good. He's really good, and having him is part of the strategy of winning. It's part of the key. It's how they play. They wind down the clock. They beat up the other team, and at the very least, it's going to take away attention from Zeke. So I like it in that sense. You also pointed out they're let's just face it, they're one of the most wide receiver starved teams. They're absolutely desperate for a wide receiver because Allen Hurns didn't work.
I mean, Cole Beasley, what is that? Their only.
It's their main dude. It's gonna.
Like,
it's gonna help him though. Now that's kind of cool. Now he can basically play the role he was meant to play.
But you saw how Dak used to play without Zeke too. Like, he was like a little lost puppy without him. So they can't handle it without Zeke either. So it could be a good thing, but again, I don't want to go there yet because I gotta see what's gonna happen.
About 50% of first round picks hit. So they just gave up. I don't know where the Cowboys are going to draft, like pick number 17. I don't know. Just made that number up. But only half of first round picks hit. Maybe you'll get something better than Cooper. I do think they overpaid a little bit.
But
yes. Yeah, if you want to put, see, that's just all perspective. But at the same time, it's sometimes we do overpay. You know, and in my life, I overpay to get deliveries sometimes because I'm rushing to get the draft party ready. You know what I mean? You overpay if you think so. They think they're a playoff team. They think they need that help. And like I said, 50% chance a first round pick is going to hit. So they were desperate. They overpaid a bit. But I'm not as adamant. Like I posted a meme. I'm like, I posted a Drake meme like, Josh Gordon 5th round pick. Nah, Jerry Jones, I don't want that. Amari Cooper 1st round pick. Yeah, give me that. So,
well, Josh Gordon, how do you feel about him already on New England? He was already like held accountable for being late to practice. So it's like,
what do you got to lose? You give a 5th round pick that if he doesn't suit up 10 games, you get it back. So isn't that literally zero risk? It's literally zero risk because you'd be like, all right, we're tanking. Let's suit him up for only 9 games and get the pick back. Right. And now we still have Josh Gordon. So it's like, yeah, it's, it wasn't any risk. So I like that. And
they're like, it takes money to make money type of deal. So, I guess
and Amari Cooper is 6 months older than Calvin Ridley. So you're paying... They're banking on him. It's essentially a draft pick. It's like they're drafting a young guy with a little more experience. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Demaryius Thomas to the Texans. Your thoughts?
I like it because Will Fuller with the ACL, he's out. So, listen, I've always liked Demaryius Thomas, but this past year or two, I just feel like he fell off completely. And I don't know if it's because he's still on the Broncos and he just does not, I don't know, he just doesn't get enough play. Or, even Emmanuel Sanders, I was like, you're not that great anymore either. But I feel like this could be a good thing for him on the Texans because what do you think? I think
I think it was general consensus that Randy Moss was done when he was on the Raiders. And Demaryius Thomas has been playing uninspired football ever since Peyton Manning left.
Yeah,
so this is also a wait and see, and I think Demaryius Thomas is no longer a good wide receiver. But playing, just put yourself in a player's position, playing with the Broncos, playing with Deshaun Watson, that is fun. We're talking about fun, like we're talking about alley-oops, we're talking about, smiling, we're talking about dancing, everything, you got DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson, the offense is exhilarating.
Listen, DeAndre Hopkins is so fun to watch with his catches. You saw him last week with that catch?
Yeah, the groin catch, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I draft him every year. Yeah.
He puts Odell Beckham to shame. Like, Odell with his one-handed catch, like, that's old news. Like, you got Hopkins with all these catches now, and I'm just like, every time I watch, he has some kind of catch that is just, like, unbelievable. And especially how fast that ball is coming to him and these catches that he's making. And then at the press conferences that he just was like, that I caught that ball. They took it away from me. Did you see him after?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say he's putting Odell to shame, but I do agree that it was better.
With the catches lately, because Eli Manning is terrible.
Yeah, and Odell's quite obnoxious, quite annoying.
Odell he's a baby. He's just a baby, and I'm really over him because he was good when he started. He had that fire in him, and now I just feel like he cries about everything. And at this point, if you're gonna cry about all this, then go to a different team.
All right, we got to hit up the chat. So earlier we kind of missed it. There was a small, heated, when I say heated, not super heated, but a little discussion going on in the live chat. Kittle versus Gronk. Look, Gronk is still amazing in real life. He blocks well. Yeah. It's the plays, and you always gotta think about it like this, guys. The coach, Shanahan, right? You've seen Shanahan, and then you've seen Bellatrix.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He can't be trusted. So you always got to think about it like that. And man, Gronk lays down some crazy blocks. He's not getting a lot of targets. So yeah, in fantasy, Kittle is way better, but Gronk is super duper elite in real life. He's just an ideal football player, the prototypical tight end. I think is one of the best tight ends to ever play the game, and he is just so up there. I would have him as a Hall of Famer. So that's real life, though. Yeah, and fantasy, Kittle's killing it.
I never know. I never know with like the Patriots for fantasy. Like every time I want to play a fantasy game, like on FanDuel, for example, and it's just a one game like where you pick all your flex positions and it's New England and then you have another team, and I'm just looking at the Patriots and I'm like, I don't know what their team is gonna do.
I got an obvious one last week though. Patriots D. That was an easy one, huh? That's it though. There you go.
The only easy thing. But when you want to play those players, you're like, who's gonna start at running back today? Like I don't know, because they're always changing it up, and you just never know with fantasy. So I never trust them with fantasy because I'm just like, I don't even know.
It's so tough.
It is so tough with them. They're so
tricky. I did not make that mistake much. I drafted Edelman in just one league, and that's the only mistake I made, and I was pretty confident in him. I think, Josh Gordon, no one saw that coming, so that's my kind of excuse. But at this point right now, it's impossible to predict, and I think that's what makes the team so good. If you're defending them, there's no game plan.
You just don't know what like that's why the defense, you're like, I'm gonna pick up
the
their
Broncos
defense.
are playing the Texans, right? I just did a video and I was like, look, stop the run, because Lindsey, don't let him get any big plays, and stop Sanders. And I think that's it. So let Sutton try to do his thing. He's a little bit raw. He's good. But I would just mainly focus on stopping Sanders, especially if you have the lead. Then you don't have to worry about Lindsey as much, and Booker starts coming in. So just stop Sanders. That's your main goal. On the Patriots, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to really focus on stopping Josh Gordon or Edelman or White? And then, Cordell Patterson comes in as running back. It's like what's going on?
One week I was like, all right, I'm going to pick these players. And then I saw Cordell Patterson. I'm like, where? What? Just who? How? And I'm like, okay, there's a touchdown. There goes my league this week. I'm like,
Richard says Sutton better than Demaryius Thomas. What do you think?
No. Right now, maybe, because he's hungry. But Demaryius Thomas, I'm on standby. I actually am a Demaryius Thomas fan for him going to the Texans. So I would stay tuned because like I said, Fuller's out. He could be taking that position for now, and I'm going.
I haven't seen Demaryius Thomas play well in over 2.5 years, so I don't know how I can disagree with that. Let's see though. Like I said, maybe he has fun on the Texans, and maybe he is energized.
It's exciting over there. Maybe he's getting that energy back that he needed, because I mean, the Broncos.
Who was their quarterback last year? I can't even. Paxton Lynch played one game. Who was their quarterback? Simeon.
For last year?
But then they did a little QB roulette, though, too.
Yeah, they did a lot of different.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
So,
was it Osweiler there for a second, too?
Did he come back? Did he come back?
I think he was there for a second.
See, if we can't even remember the quarterback, I just remember it was bad last year. It was bad.
Everyone's bored over there. It's just like, what the hell? Like, you have all these players that are just like, So I don't know. I'm a Demaryius Thomas fan. This could be good. I guess we'll wait and see.
So Sony Michel, someone's asking about Michel. Yes, he did practice, but same thing goes with injury reports and who's going to play. It's all Bellatrix. So he practiced once last week. I think it was a Friday or Saturday. And now he's practicing again this week. My feeling is 45% chance he'll play this week, and if he doesn't, I'm pretty sure he's going to play last week. That's purely a guess, guys. He played for a week last year. Oh, who? Paxton Lynch. Okay, anyway, so Nakshim loves DFS. That's really her main thing. So she wanted to give you guys a little, just a little taste of her process and basic DFS strategy. Look, I come up with my strategies all the time. I let you guys know about my process, but it's good to hear how somebody else does it, because my thing's, it's pretty personal. It's my thing. Like, it's not going to be the same. So walk us through a little bit of your process and give some tips for DFS. And these should apply to both FanDuel or wherever you're playing, right?
Right. So if you're new to DFS, I mean, if you're just starting to do daily, because a lot of people, when they watch my videos, they kind of get confused because they're like, what? Why would I pick that player? I have season long. I'm not going to. So typically when I do my videos, I'm talking about not season long. I'm talking about daily fantasy. So when I do daily fantasy and you have games coming up for the week, I have a lot of factors that I put into these games. Obviously, who is playing who and how a quarterback did last week against another team. So I compare numbers and I immediately do that. But then I also do weather reports and if it's a home game. And of course, if someone's coming off of an injury, with DFS, you have to also do risky plays because with risky plays, you could have high rewards.
Talking about
So
GPP
you
mostly,
don't.
right? Risky, yeah.
Yeah, you don't wanna you don't wanna go in there picking obvious players that everyone's gonna pick. So you wanna go deep, like, with your sleepers, and you wanna look into it because it's like you can't win if you have all the same players because everyone else is gonna have them. So say you have a league where there's 1,000 people, and out of 1,000 people, 70% have Mahomes, right? And you're thinking, man, Mahomes is going to go off today. I'm going to do great. Your whole team goes off, but Mahomes goes off too. If all of you guys have Mahomes, you're not really going to win anything. It's not going to take you to that $1,000 to number one. So if you guys want to think about starting in DFS, I don't know if a lot of you do play or you don't. I would recommend always try to look for a couple sleepers that'll get you those points that it's going to put you above everyone. Make sure you look at previous weeks, scores, defense, offense, who's playing who. Now, one thing that I'm really upset about for DFS, and Hussein knows this, is I'm super upset they don't have kickers anymore. So I used to do this like last year, and I would win games because my kickers would give me 20 points. Like, on a regular day, a kicker does not get you like 20 to 25 points, but I was called the kicker whisperer.
That's what they call me too. I
So,
call myself that,
yeah,
the kicker whisperer.
yeah. I was the kicker whisperer, and then I looked at FanDuel this year. I'm like, what just happened? Like, there's no more kicker. So look into all those factors. Try to get deep sleepers because they could really help you out. Like, I did my video a couple weeks ago, and I said Kelvin Benjamin over Jermaine Kearse. Like, people are like, Kelvin Benjamin over Kearse? And, I mean, it played out. Kearse had 0 points, and Kelvin Benjamin had 9. So that 9 points could set you up to win at least some type of money. So that's my advice. If you guys want to go deeper into your questions, again, you guys know where to find me, and it's just
Let me type
I
in
like
the chat.
daily.
So what's the number one? Pick one place where they should hit you up. Instagram or Twitter. Where do you want? I'm gonna type it in the chat for them.
Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. You guys can message me, inbox. It's all there. It's open. It's public. So it'd be at Nagsheen's Sports Minute, and ask me your questions about daily fantasy football, and I'd love to answer.
Ain't nobody
I mean,
gonna know how to spell that. I got them though. I got you. I mean, out of the
listen, guys, I got a
out
different
of
name,
all
okay?
the
And I'm not
40
gonna
people,
get
well, it's
rid of
long
it.
too. Out of all the 40 people, 0 would know how to spell that. So I'm hooking you up. Look, at Nagsheen Sports, Nagsheen's Sports Minute, and it's and I'm giving them the link to Instagram.com/Nagsheen's Sports Minute. So now you know where to find her on Instagram. And of course, follow Fantasy Casual. Look, I'm gonna add to what you said, and you gave everyone like the main strategy. So this strategy I'm gonna give, it's
I can't give too much.
this strategy I'm gonna give
Yeah.
is like a contrarian strategy, as in like I just wanted to use that word because we use it. It's not contrarian as in sleepers, but contrarian as in like it applies something like you can use it a little. It's like a little secret weapon, you know, like
Like a little.
Who's that receiver on the Steelers that keeps getting traded? Dang. Ah, he returns kicks.
Right?
Little guy.
Oh.
He's like Cole Beasley. I don't know, like a little, okay, like Cordell Patterson, all right, like that, like a little gadget player, like a Taysom Hill type of strategy here. So
Yeah.
we all know, like Nagsheen talked about, I talk about, you got to pick contrarians. These guys know. I say the word contrarian a lot, but here's actually the real, because I really study this stuff, like I really get into it and get into the perspective, the psychology behind it, like why and how and who. Switzer, everyone's saying it. Yes, thank you. Dang, everyone said Switzer so much.
Switzer.
Yeah, like that. So it's not a guy. He's not a guy gonna give you 3 touchdowns. Not a guy who's gonna kill it. But like 4th and 1, boom, he comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like a little crazy play. This is what this is. So your actual goal, technically, is not to pick 1 or 2 contrarian players. It is to have a super unique lineup. Now, picking 1 or 2 contrarian players is basically the main way, like almost the only way to do that, and it achieves that goal of having a super unique lineup. So one other way to have a super unique lineup is to construct one without necessarily contrarians. And I almost won. I almost took down the big one. I was sweating. I mean, it was so crazy.
Oh my God,
I took off my shirt. I was like shaking. I was going crazy, right? I had week 2. I had Patrick Mahomes, and you're like, Patrick Mahomes. Well, week 2 is a little more contrarian though. But
every week.
But wait. So he wasn't. He was more contrarian week 2 than he is now. Now there's so much hype, but he still wasn't contrarian. So this is how I was able to construct such a contrarian lineup with an elite quarterback like Mahomes, who beasted week 1. So I went Mahomes. Peep this. Try to go back to the week 1 state. Okay, like back when the season first kicked off, we only saw week 1. Tyreek went off. Everyone's like, Tyreek Hill's better than AB. Like it's going insane. Yeah. Kelsey got 1 catch for 6 yards. And Watkins got like 0 to 2 catches, somewhere like that. I went Mahomes. I faded Tyreek Hill. And I stacked him with Kelsey and Watkins. What happened was Watkins got like 99 yards or something. Kelsey went off. I'm like, dude, Kelsey's not... Like nobody picked Kelsey nor Watkins. The second week. That's
crazy, though.
Because that's the number 1 strategy for contrarian. Because people always ask, what's the ownership percentage? Like, look, the easiest way to... I used to wonder about this all the time. Not this. It's so easy, guys. Just look what they did last week. If last week they sucked, a lot of less people's going to own them. Like, it's clockwork every week.
Because they're like, oh, yeah, I'm done. They don't.
And this, I just gave a coaching lesson to someone in DFS, one-on-one coaching, and something I didn't realize. So what I just said doesn't apply if you're entering 25-cent contests. Like these people pick crazy. It's like a computer spitting out random mumbo jumbo. Like don't enter something where there's real money, because when I put real money on, I'm gonna actually wake up and take out Melvin Gordon.
Hold on. What were you? What was it? Which league that you almost sweated?
Oh, so it was the million.
I know.
The million. So it was the million, right? I had Mahomes. I had Diggs. It was the week 2 was the 1 week. One of the 2 weeks where Diggs did way better than Thielen. So Diggs beasted. That game was OT, I think. Packers Vikings. Diggs went off like 30 points. So I had Diggs, Watkins, Mahomes, Kelsey. My defense, I had the Saints. They went against the Browns. I mean, Saints D is terrible, but they went against the Browns and gave me 6 points. So it wasn't like horrible. Yeah, so it was amazing. And then peep this. I mean, I was so like, I'm going to do this. I had Fitzgerald left. Every time Fitzgerald breathed on the football, it was going like, I was gaining around $2,000-$3,000, and I was so crazy. It was like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Then he got injured, and I'm like, no. Then he came back in the game, and then he got injured again, and I just like, so I ended up winning only $1,000, and it was so frustrating.
I mean, you still won.
No, it's still great. Like I'm still up because of that mainly. Like it's so great, but at the same time, it's so frustrating that like I knew. Like Fitzgerald, I'm like, I trust you, dog. You can do it. But I should have known Sam Bradford. It's Sam Bradford's fault. And the injuries.
Oh, but then it's funny because sometimes I play these leagues and I'm like, oh, yay, $50. Woohoo. But then you're like, you know what? I want to see the actual lineup of the winning person. And then you look at that lineup and you're like, I would have never thought to do that because you literally have to go and pick up these players that no one's going to pick up. No one. But it's if you have the ones that are obvious, and like you said earlier, the ones that you don't think are going to hit and they hit, you're in the money. Like 100%.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the money, but you may not win the million, but you're going to be in the money.
Yeah, that's the goal with I basically stopped playing cash games. The only time I play cash games is basically when I'm doing like a experts or like a celebrity challenge. Like I'm coerced into doing it. I don't want to say no. It's like it's like free. It's free. You know, it's not like I'm having to like give up a bunch of money. Like, so it's like I'm doing. You know, other than that, I love GPPs. And guys, remember the goal in GPP is to take down the first place or like be like top 1%. Okay, take down the big prize. It's not to have all of them hit or a bunch of them hit. It's to take down a big prize. Because like I did that week, only about a third of my lineups hit on GPP. It's hitting the big one. So if you just barely hit, like if you're barely in the green, yeah, you're gonna lose money. Like it sucks. But if you hit big, that's when you win the big prize, and you're gonna be up overall. So that's you agree with that, right? It's to win the big prize, not necessarily be I'm just in the green.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to win big because a lot of these people. There's someone from my hometown. He won $1 million on DraftKings, invested that money, and his lineup was just extremely random. But again, you won $1 million, so you can't even say anything about that because I want to win $1 million. Let's get to that point. I'm trying to get to that point too. We all want to win, and that's the end result and goal, right?
Brad says, Couch, I got 4th in the splash. So that site Drafters with the snake drafts, they do GPPs as well. And this guy got 4th place out of like 1,000. That's pretty good, dude. Nice. What did I got 14th place. I had basically a perfect team. Sum it up. Patriots D, I think. And I had Breeze and Mike Thomas left. And I think I got 14th place. And Breeze sucked, But, yeah.
Breeze.
The rest was perfect. I'm talking James Conner, like, Patriots D, the whole nine. Like, I had all, probably like Kelsey or somebody. Like, I crushed it except for Breeze. That guy's really good in real life, though.
Like, listen, if one player does bad in your FanDuel or DraftKings, you're done for the week. Like, you're not gonna win.
No, you will win. It's happened. I've seen the $1 million guy. I've seen the $1 million guy start a bad defense. I've seen the $1 million guy have a bad player.
But I'm not even talking about like the defense. I'm talking about like if you have a player that gives you 0 points, but then you have all your other players that are
zero. Yeah, zero. You're dead.
Yeah, so like if you do pick up that player that is just like sleeper to the core, and you're just like, well, I want to spend all my money on all this other. Because I've seen this happen where people will pick up players where they'll pick up all these really good players and then they'll have like this $4,500, like a $4,500 player that is not going to play, but they think all their other players are going to score mad points and then they just lose. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
Well, you got to have, I mean, there's good puns and bad puns. I mean, if a player's gonna get like realistic, you know how these guys think they think crazy, but like in real, in a sensible mind, if they're gonna play 10% of the snaps, like when all the good like when Calvin Ridley, Sanu, and Julio are on the sideline and they run like 2 plays and they run the ball, and all the other wide receivers, if you pick one of those wide receivers, no, don't do that. But there's some good punts some weeks. So you're talking about like.
I'm just talking like really like down there that they don't even like play unless someone's injured.
Yeah, don't do that.
So, because there's people that have done that, and I'm like.
So you're saying I'm not an idiot for picking CJ Uzomah last week?
No, you're not, because
I picked him.
I had him too.
Well, how many points did he get you?
Zero.
Zero.
He's got me
0. Last week was 0.
0 last week, but I didn't pick him last week. I'm talking about the week before.
Oh, yeah.
I picked him.
I pick him a lot. Yeah. He's done well, except last week. Last week, Njoku, 0 points. I didn't pick Njoku last week, but Njoku, 0 points.
I picked those players a couple weeks ago, and they did score me points. It's week to week though, like we talked about with like FanDuel, week to week. And I was actually, me and my friend were doing a lineup, and I was like, "Ooh, Zuma, should we do this?" And I was like, "I mean, I want to do it." And then like Cameron Brate, for example, I was like, "I'm picking up Cameron Brate.
Risky.
I'm doing it." Because I did it, and he got me points. He got me a touchdown. So you gotta take risks. That's the name of the game with DFS. You have to take risks.
Oh, I take risks. They
So
know. Someone called me the contrarian man or something. Yeah. Yeah, I take risks. So guys, make sure you get in your questions right now before we take off. Someone is saying, should I start Fitzpatrick this week? Look, I like him with 6 teams on bye, but let me know your other option though. So I don't know what you're gonna think. Jimmy Graham rest of season. I was big on Jimmy Graham going into this year, but he's just not good. He's past his prime, doesn't even quite describe how bad he is this year. And he has the best quarterback who is targeting him. So that makes it even worse. I'd say the best.
I'm so mad with that trade. I don't even want to talk about Jimmy Graham for Jordy Nelson. Like,
Well, they didn't trade.
No.
They released Jordy Nelson.
But RIP. Like, I need Jordy Nelson.
You're a Packers fan. Yeah, so Jimmy Graham, though, I'd say the best quality, other than having Aaron Rodgers throw to him, the best quality he has is all these other tight ends got hurt and somehow he didn't. That's the best thing I can say about it. This week, though, Gronk and Jimmy Graham, I like both of them. I don't see how one of them doesn't go off, at least. I think both of them will do well. Tight ends, it's impossible to predict, though. But I love this matchup. Packers, Patriots should be high scoring. Is Marvin Jones a high-end wide receiver, too, right now? Yeah. Marvin Jones, top 17 at least, top 16. What you have to put a number on it? What would you say? Top what? Marvin Jones.
I mean, I'm gonna say top like 15.
She says top 15. I say like top 17. Yeah, he's gonna be like wide receiver 1 some weeks for sure.
Yeah, because you got just him and Galladay now that are just gonna go back and forth. So no more Golden Tate, because Golden Tate would just sneak in there and take all those catches. But I don't know. It could be a good thing for the Lions. We'll see.
Flacco or Keenum? Help! I think Flacco. Do you want me to tell you who they play? Flacco plays the Steelers, and Keenum, don't ever start Keenum. He plays the Texans.
Yeah.
Flacco by default, right?
Yeah, I'm going Flacco.
Jabber is in the building. Somehow Jabber coursed his way into our experts draft today. I see you, but I didn't notice you till like round 3. I'm like, oh, it's Jabber. What's up, man? Edelman or Galladay? Ooh.
I'm going Galladay.
You gotta go Galladay. You have to. Like, there's just no... Because after all we talked about with the Patriots, I love this matchup. Look. But maybe this is the time where Gronk finishes tight end 1 this week. I would not be surprised if Gronk finally finishes tight end 1. Maybe Josh Gordon does well. It's just... You just don't know with these Patriots.
But didn't they say Josh Gordon was like on like a minor suspension or something? Because he keeps showing up late.
Well, that was Belichick's as well. He said he was going to be benched for 1 quarter, and he wasn't, and that already passed. Yeah. So yeah, you just can't. Yeah, you can't try. They mess with us every week.
That just goes to show you exactly what we're talking about with them. Like I just. Galladay, I'm sorry, all the way. Don't even.
Yeah, this is an easy question, Brad. Are you comfortable starting Mayfield in a 2 QB league 12 team? This is not even close. If you just do the math, 6 teams are on bye. 12 teams in your league has to start 2 quarterbacks. That's 24 quarterbacks starting, 6 teams on bye. So Nick Mullins just played. So you literally have no choice just about. And yeah, I do like Mayfield this week. A little bit of dysfunction on the Browns, but in a dual QB league, like, yeah, I mean, that's awesome as your QB too, man. Even with the coaching changes, yeah, it's kind of, they got rid of the coaches, and like it still sounds like a lot of drama over there for the Cleveland Browns.
There is, but I actually was a Baker Mayfield fan a couple weeks ago when they played Tampa Bay. I had a few friends that were pissed at me for. Oh, sorry,
You
my
can
bad.
say
They were really
piss. You
mad
just
at
can't
me.
say like the really bad
Sorry.
words. You know.
But they were like really mad because I was talking about Baker Mayfield, and I mean, Tampa Bay, they give up like 367 yards to opposing quarterbacks. So I was like Baker
You,
Mayfield all the
you
way,
know,
and
you
he
know what
got
the trend?
he got
The
20.
real
Like,
trend is slot receivers against the Tampa Bay.
yeah,
That's the real trend because we thought it was just quarterbacks. He did well, but
yeah,
it was Jarvis.
he did. He got like
He
20
did well.
points.
No, but he didn't beast though. He did well. To
No, he
me,
didn't
he did
beast.
worse than what I projected him to do. I thought he'd do better.
I projected him 3 touchdowns. He got 2.
But how did
And,
Jarvis absolutely beasted though? He had his best game
yeah,
by far this year, and then Boyd just played him. He plays in the slot a lot, so slot receivers are
yeah.
absolutely crushing the Bucks. Next question though, drop Yeldon. Did somebody? Oh yeah, non-hype beast. Yeldon droppable in a 10-team league? Yes, drop him. Yeah,
Bye
Fournette gets unleashed next week. Ooh, I mean, I think he'll be put on a leash because Hyde is there. So if they got Hyde, why not ease him in? I don't see why would Fournette get 25 touches.
I think they'll split. Carries.
They'll split until they're like, you know what? I think this guy's gonna be healthy, and then he gets hurt. So they'll split. That's why they got Hyde to take a little bit of like Fournette should be good and everything, but he's still injury prone. They got Hyde. Why would they rush him back when the guy can't even stay?
Hyde's great.
Yeah, he's solid. Hyde. I mean, they got him for a reason. They didn't get him just because, like, oh, we're gonna flip. Like, no, they got him to use him, to be a, to pound the rock. The first week Fournette comes back, you comfortable starting him? I think we got to approach that week to week. But if I had to answer right now, I'd lean towards no. I'd only lean towards yes because again, he comes back next week. I think 6 teams are on bye.
Like if you want to risk it in a DFS, cool, risk it. But in your season long,
so only reason I would say yes is because 6 teams are on bye and it's slim pickings usually. But yeah, it's not no, I would not trust him. It's not a trustworthy thing. And then you know what, in DFS, to me, he's not like the best pick because it's also another factor for contrarian is the names. People like the names. You see me picking Fitzgerald and screwing up my lineup. Big name there.
But here's the thing: is if you want to test it out and you want to risk it,
I'm not against it. No, I'm not against that. But I'm just saying Fournette though is a little bit of a sexy name, little bit.
Yeah.
Like last week. I'm just so much better at judging this than I was last year. You gotta always improve every year. It gets more competitive. You gotta learn more. Last week, you know who was unsexy? Adrian Peterson.
Who?
Not the sexy name. Chubb.
Adrian
Chubb,
Peterson.
sexy. Nick.
Hold on, he's still coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
though.
but I almost took down the expert. I came in second in the 12-team 1-week experts draft we're having every week, and I picked Adrian Peterson in the last round, and he did well. Look, I'm telling you, because I'm looking at the board. Look, he was like the last running back picked up. Look, Cohen went round 3. Cohen's sexy pick.
Yeah.
He gets the big plays. Nick Chubb, he's gonna be unleashed. And every week, Aaron Jones is a sexy pick. I absolutely love Aaron Jones this week, though. What do you think? He's gonna beast this week?
Of course. I mean, I can't.
Oh, you're a Packers fan. So what? Is this bias?
Yeah,
is this bias?
You can't. Not really, but I mean, Aaron Jones is. I mean, Ty Montgomery's gone, but you remember last year that whole running back situation. But I think he'll do okay, even though the run game with the Packers could use a little bit of work. But they're not. I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers.
I think they're okay. I mean, but it's Aaron Rodgers' show, and that's okay because Aaron Rodgers is going to it's all about opportunity and scoring. So, they're not going to run the ball a ton. They're not going to use the running back position a ton. They're going to use it, but they're going to score points. They're going to be in the red zone. They're going to be within the 10-yard line, and that's what I love.
I mean, if they're in the red zone and they need, they're on first down, of course they're going to run the ball, but I mean, their run game hasn't been as good. Listen, I was a big Eddie Lacy fan, so I thought Eddie Lacy was the man.
Cheeseburglar.
And then he left, and I was just like, well, there goes our run game. But I mean, Jamal Williams had a good year last year too, so they got a good run game. It's just all over the place.
OG says, last time I started Fournette, he didn't even play through the first quarter. Nick says, what do you think will happen when McGuire comes back? Well, with Bilal Powell on IR, I think McGuire's going to instantly have a role. I see about a 35% snap share with Crowell, and Crowell has had some minor injuries. McGuire is somewhat talented. He's not great, but he is good. He is a solid running back.
Yeah, he is good. I like
Joe,
him.
I just pulled the ultimate trade off. Got Zeke, Ertz, and C-Mac, and traded away Collins, Breida, Thomas, I'm guessing Mike Thomas, and Reed. Hope I didn't shoot myself in the foot. No, you did
really good.
Well, look, Breida is awesome, like amazing if he's fully healthy, and he never is.
Yeah, but those are good. Good for
everyone's
you.
saying robbery. Are you? People like to put stuff like that in the chat and show off. And then he adds like, I hope I didn't. I'm sure he knows it's awesome.
You just want us to know you got a good deal, like.
Yeah, he just wanted me to read it out loud. Be like, yeah, I like. Yeah. You're getting a high five, but yeah, I like how that sounds. I like that. Yeah. Brad says, I love how Ty Montgomery took that kick back. Is this where you give a rant? Is this your Packers fan rant right here?
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to go
there.
It
was awful, though. It was god awful. It was so bad.
Listen, that last game, I can't. I don't even want to go there. Listen, when the Packers lose, I don't like going in the past. Like, it's just done. Next. I'm focused on the next game.
High-scoring game coming up against the Patriots. So you like Aaron Jones. Even Jimmy Graham's good this game, right? Even though he's...
Yeah, he's good. I don't know. I'm just really salty that we don't have Jordy anymore, and I feel like he was a big... Some people may not think this, but I really thought he was a big part of the team, and just the chemistry between him and Rodgers was fire. Like, you don't hear anything about Randall Cobb. I mean, it's all Devontae Adams, and Cobb was... probably, one of the better wide receivers when Jordy Nelson was around too. But I'm just. No,
really Jordy Nelson in 2016 was insane. I mean, stats are stats, and the deep play, like everyone watched the deep play. It was like every time Rodgers went back to throw, it was like, could this be a 40-yard Jordy Nelson touchdown? It was that intense. And now, what is Jordy Nelson? He's like the sixth option on the Raiders. It's so sad.
Yeah. But the Raiders are just they need to just stop playing in the NFL right
It's like they're playing on that Madden mode, the franchise mode, and then they put all the like a kid puts all the settings to make it so easy. Like, yeah, I'm going to get like 7 first-round draft picks, and I want to manage my team, and I'm going to draft Mike Vick, and then I'm going to draft Mike Vick's brother, Mike Vick's cousin.
I actually just put something on my story about this game, and it shows their coach like this, and they're like, at this point, the Raiders are going to get the first round, the second round, the fourth. They're getting all.
Dude,
they're getting all
John Gruden is just. He's a meme.
Is just so
he's a real life meme. You don't need to add any text. You don't need to add any music. You don't need any editing. He's always a meme. In an interview, he's a meme. Yeah. On the sidelines, he's a meme. And that team is so bad. Raiders look like a total dumpster fire. This is the worst showing I've seen, guys.
I feel like high school teams are better.
Yeah, I mean the Lions that year when they went is the only comparable thing when they went winless. Because the Browns last year weren't that bad, guys. It was mainly Kaiser. Like, I mean, they were horrible. But I mean, I'm just saying bad. Kaiser. Look, hear me out. Kaiser was the worst quarterback last year, right? If they I mean, he was. And if you don't agree, then he's bottom 3 last year, right? At least. Yeah, terrible. It's horrible. I'm just saying, if they had a bad quarterback instead of a terrible one, they probably would have won 2 games, 3 games, maybe 4 games, the Browns. They could have. They were close games. Yeah, that's what but the Lions, when they went winless, now that was a true, pure cut. That was a horrible team when they went.
I mean, they used to black out the games. They were so bad. Like, you want to watch the Lions game? Too bad. Like, they're terrible. We're not going to put this on
What is this? OG? Raiders make me sick? Del Rio wouldn't allow this? What is this? So witty comments here, guys. Raiders look like Mullen is Tom Brady reincarnated. You'd agree to that,
What?
right? Uh,
Yeah, but I mean, like they're still
why'd you
like
say
he's still
yeah?
on TV right
Why'd you say
now.
yeah? I
Like
was just joking.
I,
You're
no, I'm not. But like I'm saying, yeah, like this guy is still on. Like literally, if you guys are still watching the like
well.
post, I he's
He's the
still there. Like
MVP of
just watch
tonight, which is, I mean, they went against the Raiders.
one
Yeah, they went
game,
against the Raiders.
one
That's my.
game. And
I
the
was just joking.
Raiders,
Look,
like
the dude looked awesome. That was amazing.
yeah, but it's the Raiders. Like you can't even say he looks awesome. Like I'll go out there and play the Raiders, and you'll say I look awesome.
He ain't worth 100 mil for a head coach. Yeah, I don't. I
No.
mean, I'd say that's a lot of money, even for someone with billions. That's 100 million is a lot of money to spend on a head coach.
Yeah.
Raiders will have the number one pick in the draft. Well, maybe they'll have the. How about the? Do you think the Raiders could have like they could have like so many top picks,
The Raiders are gonna get every top pick because they're just
and they can
terrible.
trade up too. So like they can like it's gonna be like that Madden game.
At this point, they don't even care. They just want all the picks. So they're probably just gonna start going left and right. Like here, this is I don't care. Go. Yes. No. They're
Couch,
horrible.
I always see you doing the basketball stuff on No Limit. Yeah, I just play just to support the site. Used to be a huge basketball fan and watched NBA League Pass, but I'm just focused on NFL this year. So I just play the free rolls. You know that's really all I'm doing. I test out the site. I try to help the site grow. I can coach the Raiders better than Gruden could. On
that's
you know,
that's
I
a
always
little
said me and
brutal.
my friend, the guy who usually co-hosts this, I was like, me and you, like, we can coach the Warriors to the semifinals. Like, we can do it. That's a great team. Football coach, you got
They're
to do a lot more as a football coach.
Yeah, because you have so many different positions and you have so many other coordinators,
More
and it's just
politics too. More player, like
yeah,
53 players. Basketball teams essentially like 9 players and then like 2 like super scrubs, and it's like
like
nothing.
politics, like 100%. Because politically speaking, why is Eli Manning still in the NFL? Like, go home.
Oh yeah,
You're
that
done.
guy.
You're
He
washed up.
disappointed me.
Just stop. Just done. You're last. What do you mean? The last couple years I see him, he just looks so slow and just too much
Yeah,
politics with
he.
that.
I mean, they're really going for that number one pick too. I think the Raiders got this on lock though. I don't think they can be as bad as the
Yeah,
Raiders.
they
But the
definitely
Giants are up
brutal.
there. Somehow the Bills, uh, won 2 games.
Yeah.
Buffalo sack attack. Oh, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. I have seen a high school defense that's played better than the Raiders defense did tonight. I mean, come on, man. The
Yeah.
third string
So
QB torches your defense. Yeah, he was on fire. Dude, moved the ball so swiftly. Let's do a contest on No Limit. We'll do it every week. There's not enough people to do like a private one, but we'll be doing the GPP. I'll invite Nakshim. She probably won't play. You know, I'll see. Would you play? Would you play?
when is it? When are you doing it?
CryptoFantasySports.com.
Yeah, I'll try it
Yeah,
out.
you heard of
I'm not
cryptocurrency? They use
Yeah.
cryptocurrency to play, so therefore the rakes is about half because it's their own currency.
Okay.
And what's cool is the site's so new, like it's brand new.
Mm.
They're still testing it, still improving it every day. What's awesome is that overlay, right? Overlays
Yeah.
off the charts every time. It's like out of control.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying
Yeah,
it,
you
but
just
I mean,
just give it a
great.
try. You'll get them juice. Get more people playing. We're trying to grow the site. Like, yeah,
Got
we'll
it.
just try it out. It's pretty cool. It's the salary cap DFS. So I mean, it's right up your alley. Yeah.
Got it.
Browns
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Browns
So
suck. Jarvis is still a stud though. Yeah, I like Jarvis. A lot of dysfunction. I'm giving the Browns one more shot. I always like targeting quarterbacks going against the Chiefs. So let's see how Mayfield does. You're talking about Mayfield against the Bucks, and I liked Mayfield. I think it was against the Bucks too, and I kind of like Mayfield in another game. And he just really didn't hit like I thought he would. So I think this game I'm still on the Mayfield bandwagon for one more game against the Chiefs. Like, what do you think he will hit that potential this game?
I mean, he might. My prediction wasn't too off with him that 1 week because he did have 2 touchdowns. I said 3, 367 yards, typically what Tampa Bay gives up. He had about 200 and was it like 15, I think.
Oh, I remember the game now vividly. He was doing nothing the
Yeah,
first quarter or two, and then he started
yeah,
doing
and then
pretty
it was a
well.
tie. Yeah, they tied the game, and then the field goal won the game.
Yeah.
So that was the game against the Browns, and I don't know. I do like Baker Mayfield. I can't.
I'm probably going with him in DFS one more time because he's been so bad, or not just not elite. He's never been elite. I think the ownership's
But
not going
he's
to be
never.
super
Yeah.
high. It would be way higher if he was doing better. So
Listen, they're winning games compared to last year, so I think they're giving him a little bit of credit
he's doing good.
because
I'm talking DFS though. I think the ownership will be within check. Like it won't be high nor low. I think so.
well, when I had him, I did pick him up for that game against Tampa Bay, and his ownership
It
was at
wasn't
like
too high, I don't think.
20 or 30%, and he still got me 20
Yeah.
points. So he did pretty good for me.
Got a couple questions here. Chiefs defense will get double digit points against Cleveland. I think the Chiefs defense is the riskiest defense this week, guys. I think they're not that good. The Browns are prone to screw up here and there, so you're really banking on that. Defenses are tough to predict, but I see the Chiefs as a risky play. They can do well, they can do bad, and I wouldn't really go far as saying they'll get double digit points. I don't know. They do rush the passer a lot. I don't know about that though. Baker or Stafford?
Stafford. Wait, Stafford's playing
The Vikings. I'm
against-
going with Baker Mayfield hands down here. Baker Mayfield is going against the Chiefs. He'll need to throw the ball. Stafford without Tate is going against the Vikings, and Everson Griffin's back.
I'm gonna stay with Stafford.
She's staying with Stafford. I'm
Stay with Stafford.
adamantly disagreeing. I'm going with Baker Mayfield. Cam
We'll see.
versus Tampa, gonna be lights out. Cam's been very good this year.
Yeah, he has. Even though I don't really hear much about him, like I feel like after the Super Bowl, I don't really hear much about Cam Newton. I don't ever watch his games either.
He's
really
been
don't.
Okay, he's
Cam
got
Newton's
outfits. He dresses in outfits at the press.
His
release.
outfit, okay, so nothing can compare to Fitzmagic's outfits the beginning of the season, okay? With the shades and the jewelry and like everything, that was just
the
funniest thing
Fitzgregor.
yeah.
Sorry, Fitzgregor. Yeah.
Fitzgregor. I was looking at that man and I'm like, you've got to be.
Look at
kidding
all
me.
these guys.
It
You got what is this? Everyone's saying Stafford. Baker
See? Stafford,
Mayfield.
Stafford,
Baker
Stafford,
May. Without
yes.
Tate, it's so obvious to
Stafford.
start Baker
What do you
Mayfield.
mean? No, they still got their two big guys, Galladay and Jones. So I'm staying with Stafford. Just because they lost Golden Tate doesn't mean they don't
It's
have
a
anyone
number
to
one
play
wide
with anymore.
receiver. Vikings defense
Yeah,
is going to
whatever.
bounce back. They're going to be decent.
Whatever. Stafford. I like you.
Ah! Buffalo says Baker. I got one person on my side. I got
One.
Sanders and picked up Sutton before trade. What should I do? I don't know what that question means. It's too general of a question.
Yeah.
Just, I think a clap emoji. I think the clap emoji is good for this. You did well. You get a pat on the back. I don't know what else to do.
High five.
High five, yeah. Riddick can play slot too. Yeah, that's going places.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Nagshim has joined the Facebook group. So, guys, make sure you check it out. Go to Facebook and search Fantasy Couch Fam. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. We have 2 YouTube channels. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike if you didn't. Go ahead and follow Nagshim's Sports Minute on Instagram. I'm Hussein the Brain, signing off.